to the cheat code warm-up for trumpet players. You might think that because of the name, it's going to be super quick and super easy. But that is the exact opposite of what it's going to be. It's going to be thorough, it's going to be in-depth, and it's going to require a lot of patience. So I hope you'll bear with me. In order to fully utilize the maximum extent of the benefits of this warm-up, you're going to need to devote a lot of time to this warm-up. And so if you're doing it for the first time, I recommend that you would do this routine maybe on a weekend practice session when you have basically unlimited time, or very early in the morning, like it's 6:16 a.m. for me right now, so that we're not impinging on the director's time, and that this warm-up is only beneficial to you. Of course, as you do it more and more, as time goes on, I'm sure you'll be able to find your own abbreviated versions for this warm-up so that you can maybe save a little bit of time and do it before school, or do it during time before your school period, before band. But I recommend that at least for the first time that you do it, that you dedicate at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes to just really fully break down and go through every step as thoroughly as possible so you can see how beneficial it can be. This is a guide in chronological order that you should take in your warm-up, and you're obviously going to notice it's not 30 minutes long, it's quite short. So after each segment of each section of the warm-up, I would recommend pausing the video and just doing it for yourself and figuring out what you know and what you don't know, and then replaying that part of the video to see, what you want clarified. And then after fully doing that step, then proceeding to the next section and rinse and repeat, watching the section, and then doing the routine, and then watching for clarification on any questions you might have. Let's get started. So obviously, we are warming up to be able to play this instrument, the trumpet, to the greatest of our ability. But for now, we're going to put this down. We're going to start with just the mouthpiece, where we're going to be doing a very, very simple exercise that I'm sure you've done before, which consists of just blowing air into the mouthpiece. It does a very good job of, for one thing, warming up the mouthpiece, because for me, there's nothing better than playing on a warmer mouthpiece, especially when it's cold in the morning. But also, it's very essential in getting our air moving from our lungs to our throat, and then through our mouth, through the mouthpiece, as far as possible, so that we can utilize that air support for the instrument later in order to sound the best that we can. So let's begin. You're going to want to hold the mouthpiece in your hand, not with 2 fingers, but with all your fingers, so that you have a lot of stability, and just at this point, it's very important that you keep yourself very relaxed, but with good posture, and you keep your face completely relaxed, because the tension in your face is where a lot of the errors and warm-ups can come, and if you tense up too much, it might affect you quite a lot, even in the long run, like throughout the entire day of playing, even though this is your first warm-up of the day. When you can feel that the air is starting to move very easily, and you can feel your lungs working amazingly, and your mouthpiece is starting to get a little bit toasty, then you're going to know to move on to step 2. Step 2, getting your buzz into the mouthpiece. So, buzzing is a staple in the trumpet community for warming up, which I'm sure you've seen here and then, and it's very important to do it the right way, because if you do it the wrong way, you can mess up, and you can basically ruin your chops the rest of the day. And I figured out a way to start buzzing in the beginning of the day or whenever you start playing that is foolproof and cannot make you mess up as long as you stay patient and diligent. What you're gonna want to do is fully relax your face and then form your perfect embouchure. After forming that embouchure, place the mouthpiece on your lips and blow some hot air. It's gonna be like you're saying the syllable K or Q, and just blow that air in such a way that it could cause a buzz, but it doesn't have to. You're gonna repeat this over and over and over again until you get a couple sputtering buzzes here and there, and then more and more, it's gonna start sounding really, really good. So make sure to stay patient. You gotta really trust the process because if you just keep doing it over and over again, it's gonna start coming. It's gonna start sounding better and better. So let's do it. Obviously, sounds a little bit bad, but if you keep on doing it, it's gonna start getting better and better. And there's nothing you have to change. Just stay set, stay with good posture, and stay relaxed. Eventually, you're gonna start getting a solid long tone buzz like that, but you're not gonna want to proceed until it sounds super full, super resonant, and it's super easy. So let's keep going until we get For me personally, it's important to start off the buzz on, in between a middle G and a middle C in the staff because you don't want to start too low and you don't want to start too high because either one is going to sort of set you up for failure in the opposite part of the register. So let's keep it in the middle. All right, now we're going to go to sort of a mini step. This is the least essential step, but if you have a lot of time, then I would highly recommend it, which is lip buzzes in a Remington pattern from middle C or wherever you're starting up and down in order to sort of get your tongue involved. Making sure to stay relaxed and loose. Once you have a buzz that sounds absolutely amazing, the best you've ever heard, it's time to move on to the trumpet. So what you're gonna want to do is, just like the buzz, play anything in between a G and a C and just hold that long tone out. Just play it, just keep playing it for maybe a couple minutes just to get that transition from the mouthpiece to the mouthpiece added to the entire instrument. So you kind of have, your lips are getting used to it. So let's do that for a couple minutes. on doing that until you get super warm, yeah, bright trumpet sound that is very resonant and full. So let's continue. Now that we got that done, let's move on to the next step. This next mini step is sort of like the mini step with the buzzes, but applied to the horn. We're gonna do some flexibility by doing pitch bends from C to down a couple half steps or whole steps, or as far as you can go comfortably while using good technique. Making sure to keep that full and nice sound from the previous part of the exercise, but getting that flexibility exercise in. Now that we have warmed up the horn, we're going to move on to the next step. This next step is something that is super often neglected by trumpet players, which is articulation. And I've rarely seen people really focusing on warming up their articulation because a lot of people don't realize that if you don't warm up your articulation, when you try and do it in the music that you warmed up for, it sounds really shabby and a little bit sloppy, and you might blame your own skills for that. But the truth is that if you warmed up properly, then it would have came super easy. So let's get started. Typically people just warm up the front of their tongue and do a little bit of double tonguing, or maybe even a little bit of triple tonguing. But the problem with that is that it often results in neglecting the back of your tongue a lot, because you're prioritizing the front and exercising the back a little bit when you're doing double tonguing, but it's very easy to compromise the back of the tongue when you're doing double tongue exercises. So what I like to do is focus on both the front and the back individually, and then from there, you can go and do your other articulation exercises. So that was done with the front of the tongue, and now we're going to do the same thing with the back of the tongue. You might want to take it a little bit slower, or you want to do it a little bit longer in order to get fully warmed up. That was personally not nearly enough for me. I'll probably do it for another couple minutes, but it's really up to your preference. From here, you can go to, other articulation exercises that you've been provided, because a lot of them work quite well, but making sure to give ample attention to the back of the tongue, because this warm-up is the little time that you have in each playing session to sort of practice that and then improve it for when you really need it later on in your musical journey. So once you've fully and thoroughly warmed up both the front and your back, I can't emphasize also warming up the back a lot enough. We're going to move on to the last step. Now, for the last step, we're going to be venturing up into the high register and warming up all registers, which is something I save for the last step because it has the highest potential to really ruin your chops for the rest of the day. So let's do it really slowly, really relaxed, in the safest way possible, doing chromatics from C up. And if you're feeling a sticking point where you have to force your way in order to get that note out, then stop playing, restart, keep going again and again, and making sure to stay super relaxed as to not compromise your chops. pace. Again, make sure to stay super safe because this is the most dangerous part of the warm-up. At this point, it's going to be pretty hard to mess up your chops because of the amount of slow, methodical playing you've been doing so far, but still possible. So make sure to stay super conserved and really, really relaxed so that everything feels good for the rest of the day. Hey guys, thank you for watching my video and following along my routine for warming up. I'm super honored to be spreading this around because I'm sure this is going to be of a lot of help to some people that have never, been properly taught or been bothered to learn how to warm up properly. And even those who have taught my warm-up routine, I hope that this is going to be a nice refresher, a nice accessory to use. I am planning on, continuing a little mini-series on basic trumpet needs, like how to properly clean your horn, how to properly maintain your horn, and how to kind of take care of your chops outside of trumpet playing in order to make sure that you're feeling good as much as possible. So let me know if you want to hear more about that, ask any questions or comments or whatever, if you need clarification on something, and thank you so much for watching.